I never thought my life would be dissected under fluorescent courthouse lights, but that's exactly where I found myself on a humid Tuesday in Miami. My palms were sweating and my stomach twisted itself into knots as the bailiff called out, "Case 18247, Hutman versus Hutman." That was us. My parents entered the courtroom like royalty, expensive linen clothes, gold jewelry, and that same air of superiority they carried everywhere. My mother, Veronica, held her chin high, her blonde hair pulled so tight it looked painful. My father, Hubby, walked with the arrogance of a man who had always gotten his way. I was their only daughter, and today my parents were suing me. The Miami villas, 3 beachfront rental properties worth nearly $8.2 million, were left to me by my grandmother. She was the only person who truly loved me in that family. She always said, "When I'm gone, sweet girl, I want you to have something no one can take." Except my parents were trying to take it anyway. I sat down beside my attorney, a sharp, confident woman named Dahlia Raz, who had warned me, "They're going to try to paint you as undeserving, irresponsible, unfit. Be ready." I was, or at least I thought I was. When the judge entered, everyone rose. Judge Marisol Henderson, calm, observant, and unshakably neutral, took her seat. My parents' attorney stood first, a slick, tan-skinned man with a too-perfect smile. "Your Honor," he began, "my clients are here today because they wish to reclaim what rightfully belongs to them." He spoke as if he were reading a bedtime story, but every word crawled under my skin. He continued, "My clients financially supported their daughter for years. They maintained the villas. They handled all rental operations. They paid the staff. Without them, the properties have fallen apart. Therefore, it is only logical that the villas be transferred to them." Then came the moment that made my blood freeze. My mother stood and pointed directly at me. "She isn't worth a single cent, Your Honor. The villas belong to us. She has done nothing to earn them." My father nodded, adding, "She would ruin everything. She always does." The courtroom went silent. I felt something in me crack, something old, something that had been waiting for years. Dahlia squeezed my hand. "Let them finish," she whispered. "Then we destroy them." Part 2. The Evidence. When it was our turn, Dahlia rose like a warrior. "Your Honor, the deceased, Mrs. Elena Hutman, explicitly left the villas to her granddaughter, not to her son, not to her daughter-in-law, to her granddaughter. She pulled out the will, clear, legal, and undeniable. But she wasn't finished. Additionally, we have documented proof that my client's parents siphoned funds from the villa rental accounts for over 9 years. Vacations, jewelry, a boat, home renovations, all charged to the villas." My parents stiffened. "And my client," Dahlia continued, "has been paying property taxes, insurance premiums, and staff salaries since her grandmother passed alone." A murmur rippled across the courtroom. My mother's eyes darted. My father clenched his jaw. But the real blow came when Dahlia placed a thick envelope on the evidence table. "Inside this envelope," she said, "is a notarized letter written by Mrs. Hutman 1 week before she passed. It explains exactly why she left everything to her granddaughter and nothing to her son." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Proceed." My grandmother's voice echoed in my memory as Dahlia read the letter aloud. My grandmother had written, "Hubby abandoned me when I needed him most. Veronica treats everyone like servants. I will not reward cruelty. My granddaughter is the only one who visits, cares, listens. The villas are hers, not theirs." By the time the letter was finished, my mother was shaking. My father's face burned crimson. The judge leaned back, studying them as if examining 2 insects under a microscope. "Mr. and Mrs. Hutman," Judge Henderson said slowly, "I find your testimony questionable at best, deceitful at worst." My heart pounded. Then she delivered the sentence that would flip their world upside down. "I hereby freeze all your personal bank accounts pending further investigation into financial misconduct." Gasps exploded in the room. My parents' attorney staggered. My mother grabbed her chest. My father whispered, "You can't do this." Judge Henderson slammed her gavel. Next hearing in 1 month, court dismissed. And just like that, we walked out winners, temporarily. But the war, it had just begun. Part 3. The Payback. I thought the freeze on their accounts would humble them. It didn't. For the next several weeks, my parents tried everything to manipulate the situation. They called me crying, sent guilt-ridden voice messages, spread lies about me to family, and even tried ambushing me at the villas. But they still didn't know my biggest weapon, my grandmother's safe. Weeks before her death, she had asked me to retrieve a locked safe from her closet. Inside were bank records, handwritten logs, video recordings, and a signed confession. She had prepared for everything. Dahlia reviewed the evidence and said, "This is enough to end them financially and legally." So we brought everything to court. My parents walked into the second hearing pale, exhausted and desperate. The judge looked stern. "New evidence has been submitted," she said. My father whispered, "What new evidence?" Then the bailiff played a video from the safe. My grandmother lay in her bed, frail but alert. She stared at the camera. "If you are watching this, then hubby and Veronica are trying to steal from my granddaughter. They mistreated me, stole from me, used my home as their playground. They do not deserve to benefit from my death." My mother gasped like she'd been slapped. My father whispered, "Mom, why?" And the courtroom watched them crumble. Judge Henderson folded her hands. "Based on the overwhelming evidence of financial exploitation, fraud, and elder abuse, I am issuing the following verdict. 1. Full ownership of the Miami villas is granted to Miss Huttman. 2. Hubby and Veronica Huttman are ordered to repay $1.9 million in stolen funds. 3. A restraining order is issued prohibiting them from approaching the properties or their daughter. 4. State investigators will pursue criminal charges for elder financial abuse." My parents collapsed into their seats. My mother sobbed. My father stared into space, his image of control shattered. And me, I felt a rush. Not just victory, but justice, the kind my grandmother would have been proud of. Part 4. The Final Twist. A month later, I stood on the balcony of Villa 1, watching waves crash against the sand. I owned all 3 villas now. Renovations were underway. Bookings soared. A travel magazine even asked for an interview about young female property owners in Miami. My life was changing. But the real twist came in a letter delivered to my door. It was from my parents, handwritten, shaky. "We lost everything. The boat, the house, the accounts. We have nowhere to go. We are living in a motel. We're sorry. Please help us." For a moment, I felt something, pity, sadness, nostalgia. But then I remembered the years of insults, the manipulation, the lies, the courtroom betrayal. "She isn't worth a single cent." And I realized they never wanted me. They wanted what I owned. So I wrote one sentence back, the same words they used against me. "You aren't worth a single cent." I mailed it. Then I walked inside my villa, closed the door, and finally felt free. I thought sending that letter would be the end of the story. But endings have a way of surprising you. The morning after I mailed the reply, Miami woke under a blanket of gold sunlight. I walked through Villa 1, barefoot, going over reservation reports. Business was booming. Everything felt calm until my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it until instinct made me swipe. "Hello." A woman's voice answered, soft, nervous, too gentle to belong to any debt collector or solicitor. "Is this Miss Huttman, the granddaughter of Elena Huttman?"
"Yes."
"Who's calling?" "My name is Officer Rachel Henry, Adult Protection Services, Miami-Dade. I'm calling regarding your parents." Just like that, the past punched me in the chest. "What about them?" "They were found outside a closed seafood restaurant on 8th Street last night. According to surveillance, they'd been waiting there for almost 4 hours, hoping the owner might offer leftover food. My breath caught. The officer continued. They listed you as their only emergency contact. Of course, they did. Are they all right? They're stable, exhausted, severely dehydrated. We're taking them to temporary housing. Even temporary housing won't last long. They have no income, no assets, no transportation. I swallowed hard. She asked quietly, "Would you like to be involved in their case?" I closed my eyes. I remembered every word they ever said to me. Every insult, every betrayal, every time they chose money over love, and the courtroom, their twisted smiles. She isn't worth a single cent, Your Honor. My jaw tightened.
No, iwisparat.
I do not want to be involved. I understand, the officer replied gently. We will proceed without you. The call ended, and something inside me, something old and wounded, settled like dust. This chapter of my life wasn't ending. It had already ended. The real end. 2 weeks passed. For the first time, the villas felt like mine, not just legally but spiritually. I painted walls in brighter colors, hired a new staff, and opened a scholarship fund in my grandmother's name for single mothers in Florida. Yet deep down, a quiet voice whispered, "Am I cruel, cold, heartless?" I tried to silence it. Then one evening while checking into Villa 3, someone knocked on the glass door. I turned. My father stood outside, thin, pale, defeated. His clothes hung off him. His cheeks were sunken. His hands trembled. He lifted one hand in a half wave, a gesture I had seen as a child whenever he wanted forgiveness, without apology. I opened the door, but only a few inches. "Why are you here?" I asked.
His voice cracked.
"I wanted to see you." I didn't respond. He swallowed hard. "Your mother is sick. Stress, malnutrition. She needs help. We both do." His eyes brimmed with tears. "We made mistakes." I laughed, a short, cold, bitter sound. "Mistakes?" I repeated. "You didn't misplace the remote, Dad. You stole from Grandma. You lied in court. You tried to take everything from me." He closed his eyes. "I know." His voice cracked, but for once, it wasn't anger or arrogance. It was remorse, genuine, raw, human. For the first time, I saw a man who wasn't my father, just a broken person shaped by greed and pride. He whispered, "Can we start over?" And for a moment, one small fragile moment, I felt that old longing for family, for love, for something normal. But then I remembered my grandmother's letter. "Do not reward cruelty." I inhaled slowly. "No," I said softly. "We can't start over. Too much has happened." My father's shoulders dropped, collapse written in every line of him. "But," I added, "I don't want you to starve." He looked up, startled. "I can't give you money. I won't bail you out. I won't support you. But I will connect you to a long-term housing agency, and I'll pay for 3 months of your therapy. That's it. Nothing more." His eyes widened. "Why? Why would you do that?" "Because I'm not like you," I said. "And I don't want to be." He nodded a small, broken nod. "Grateful. Ashamed. I understand," he whispered. I closed the door between us gently, not angrily. And for the first time in my life, the separation felt right. My grandmother's promise. Months passed. The villas became one of the top-rated luxury rentals in Miami. I bought myself a small condo overlooking Biscayne Bay. Nothing extravagant, just peaceful. I volunteered on weekends. I built a new life, a new circle, a new identity. One day, while sorting old storage boxes from my grandmother's house, I found a sealed envelope tucked beneath a stack of crocheted blankets. My name was written on it. My heart squeezed. I opened it carefully. Inside was a letter. "Sweet girl, if you are reading this, it means everything is over. I always knew you would face something painful with your parents. But I also knew you would survive it. Remember this. Loving someone doesn't mean letting them hurt you. Protect your heart, protect your peace, and never forget, you are worth everything. Grandma Elena. I pressed the letter to my chest and cried quietly, deeply. The kind of cry that cleans you from the inside. It was the closure I didn't know I needed. The story wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about liberation, healing, becoming the woman my grandmother believed I could be. When I stepped onto the balcony of Villa 1 later that evening, the sky was painted in pinks and oranges. The waves were calm, the air warm, and for the first time, I felt like the world and my life finally belonged to me.